Your teenage child has been diagnosed with functional neurological disorder, short for FND, and you as a parent are struggling to work with your child's school. What do you do? Hi, my name is Dr. Lee. I'm a pediatric psychologist and chronic pain survivor myself. My mission is to help teens and their parents resolve persistent physical symptoms such as chronic pain and FND so that they can get their life back and feel like normal again. Because I truly believe that every single teen who is struggling with chronic pain or FND deserves so much better in their lives. If you're new to this channel, welcome, and make sure to click the link below to download a free PDF parenting guide on how to help your child at home when your child is struggling with chronic pain or FND. It's completely free, and make sure to grab the copy today. Now, today's video, I think this is going to be kind of long, so probably I'm going to do it in 2 video series, but it is all about how to work with your child's school while your child is going through the recovery of FND. All right, so let's get to it. Okay, just super briefly, what is FND? Because it is something that nobody talks about, nobody knows about, but believe it or not, it is the second most common diagnosis you would get in a neurology clinic, and it is an umbrella term to describe these cross-wired problems between the brain and the body, even though the body looks fine and it's a legit condition and it is real and your child is not making things up. All right, and there are so many different types of FND, things like functional seizures, which has so many different names like PNES, PNEE, PNES, or whatever you call it. Functional movement disorder is a type of FND as well. Paralysis, fainting, chronic pain, vision loss. These are all part of FND, and it is not just one thing that is causing your child to be struggling with FND. It's not just biological. It's not just one psychological issue. It is a biological, psychological, and social phenomenon called biopsychosocial phenomenon. And I have tons of videos talking about what is FND, factors influencing FND, and what is biopsychosocial phenomenon. So check those videos as well. Why are we talking about school in the first place? Missing school itself is a stress in and of itself, which definitely doesn't help towards the recovery of FND for your child. If your child's missing from school, academically, your child is going to get behind. That means there's more things to catch up, which can be pretty stressful, right? And your child would be more likely to worry about grades in the future, like college. And then also, not only the academics, your child might be socially behind because there's a lot of missing out going on. And then all of these things lead to more isolation, more stress, and more impairment. So that's why it's really important to work with school. And the goal is to get your child back to school as much as possible. So I want to talk about what school is doing wrong, so to speak, even though they have a good intention. I think when it comes to school, the main thing for school is really the liability. And again, this could be the legal, medical issue, right? And it's a really sticky point. And so it's not that school is intentionally being malicious. I hope not. But most likely the school is operating from their liability perspective. Now, that being said, what's happening? Many times, because of the lack of education and knowledge and experience, the school is treating FND episode like a medical emergency. FND is not a medical emergency itself unless there is a secondary injury. For example, your child is having functional seizures and somehow your child falls and hit your head, then that could be considered a secondary injury. But when it comes to just focusing on FND itself, FND is not a medical emergency. However, it looks like it is a medical emergency. Therefore, the school cannot tell the difference between, let's say, functional seizures and epileptic seizures. All right. So if the school is treating FND like a medical emergency, these can happen. Number one, the school is paying a lot of attention. So the school nurse or the administrative staff might be asking a lot of questions. How are you feeling? What's your level? you were out for however many seconds and all of that stuff, right? And then also during the episode of FND, regardless of what kind of episode, the school staff might be talking, touching, and then attempt to resuscitate during episode, and then timing the episode, stopping the class or removing everybody out of the classroom, and then leaving your child alone to give a quote-unquote privacy, which is not necessarily a great thing, but also they might be freaked out and just calling you all the time and sending the kid home all the time, calling 911 and not letting the child come back to school until your child is completely resolved from the symptoms, and or recommending online, hybrid, or homebound school options as if this is a medical emergency. Or the complete opposite side is that the school might be treating FND as the same thing as malingering, aka faking, right? So no accommodations or no support from teachers or school whatsoever because they don't believe what your child is going through is quote unquote legit, or simply not believing what your child is going through is a legit condition. Or teachers might be understanding, but what about peers, right? They might be saying, but then you look fine. You just look fine. And you were just fine yesterday, and then you don't look sick. So all of these comments and statements can be very invalidating, and this would also cause your child to feel more socially isolated, which unfortunately would make it difficult and more difficult to continue to attend school, which is really taking the education opportunity out of your child, which is not really cool. So in the next video, I want to talk about then what to do, what can school do, and what can you do to continue to educate and advocate for your child, and what can your child do to continue to advocate for themselves in the next video. Now, if you and your bright child are ready to take step-by-step actionable solutions to resolve persistent chronic symptoms like chronic pain and FND, then you might be a good candidate for my program. Click the link below to schedule a call to talk to me directly and see if you qualify for the program. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I will see you in the next video.